All right, good afternoon, everyone. So it's already 2 p.m. on my clock, so I suppose we could already begin our session. Welcome to our very first and official synchronous class since the last one was allotted for our class orientation and introduction of each and every one. So yeah, this would be the very first unit and the very first topic that will be introduced to you in their high school mathematics. So I hope you're all excited and I am looking forward to a very fruitful and productive quarter with all of you. All right, but before we begin, let me just record the session. Permission to record, please. All right, it's recording now. So yeah, before we begin, let me just share my screen and let's have a short activity, a little game para naman hindi tayo diretso agad with the lesson. So, ayan, as you may see in your screen, our activity is called the category game. We have 15 items in this table, and the task is to group the items as you see fit, then label each group accordingly. So basically, list down nyo lang in groups yung mga items na magkakapareho or may the same characteristics, and then label them according to that characteristic. Alright, so wala namang required number of groups or number of items sa isang group. Kung ano lang yung makita nyong appropriate and kung ano lang yung tingin nyo would be fit for that group, then that's okay. So I would give you 2 to 3 minutes to do this activity, and then I will call some of you, or probably para makita ng lahat, we can just send our answers to the chat box. Please send it to everyone, not directly to me, para makita rin ng inyong classmates. Alright, so 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, and it starts now. All right. Sige. So while doing your activity, I'll give an example para mas ma-visualize niyo siya. So for example, one group or one category na naisip ko is animal kasi nakita ko na yung item. So pwedeng i-group ko si dog, si cat, and then si bird. So meron akong one group with 3 items. So ganun lang gagawin niya. Alright? Kahit ilan naman, okay lang yun. Just to, to get engaged and to, to introduce our topic for today. Alright? Sige. 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, may questions sa chat box. Yes, you can write. Pwede nyo i-write na lang directly sa chat box or pwedeng picturean nyo then send a photo. Yeah. Alright. You're welcome. Sige. Ayan, some students are now sending their answers. Sige, let's open yung iba. Ayan. Okay, sabi dito, colors. Colors are orange, and then blue, and then red. That's correct, that's one. And then we have parts of the solar system, star, moon, and then sun. That's correct. But to be more precise, siguro we can label it as celestial objects or celestial bodies. Ayan, that's correct as well. Another one, fruits. Meron bang fruits? Apple. Yes, orange. Yeah, that's correct. And then last one, shapes. Meron bang shapes? Square, heart, and then star. All right, that's correct. So bakit ito pinagawa? What do you think is the relevance of this activity to our lesson for today? Sige nga, any guess? Ano yung lesson natin? Ayan. Sige. So, our lesson for today and your very first lesson in Mathematics 7 is sets or introduction to sets. So, ano yung related, ano yung relevance ng activity natin dito? So, I asked you to group some items because those items are called sets. But what is set? What is a set? But before that, let's read our learning targets. Ayan, describe well-defined sets, subsets, universal sets, and the null set and cardinality group sets, and illustrate the union and intersection of sets. So we have two lang. Kukunti-kuntiin lang natin since beginning pa lang tayo. And I will just give 1 to 3 examples for each type. And then on our next synchronous session, doon tayo mag-delve deeper into different examples. So ngayon, more on the theoretical knowledge and then konting examples para lang ma-prepare tayo to a more tedious study. Alright? So as we have said a while ago, yung items na group natin or the group itself, they are called sets. So sets may be defined as a collection of objects. Alright? So katulad mo kanina, meron tayong set of animals, set of fruits, or set of colors. So basically, yan yung set. Group or set. They have the same meaning. Alright? But then in mathematics, a set is a well-defined group or collection of objects that share common characteristics. These objects are called elements. So when we say well-defined set, ibig sabihin, they have common characteristics. So lahat ng elements doon, meron silang common characteristics. Alright? And kapag merong isang element or isang item na tingin mo is not part of that group, ibig sabihin, well-defined siya because mabilis mong ma-distinguish which is not part of that group. Alright? And lahat ng objects doon, they are called elements. Ito siya. Alright? Yan. So well-defined sets. For example, we have one here, the set of even numbers. So I believe you have been introduced already to even and odd numbers in your elementary mathematics. So sige nga, penging example sa chat box ng even numbers. Ayan, correct. We have 2, we have 4, 6, 8, and so on and so forth. So the set of even numbers, we have 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh no, sorry. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 rather, and so on and so forth. All right? Sorry for the mistake. The next one, the set of multiples of 3. Multiples of 3. Diba? Na-introduce na rin tayo with the multiples and factors. Pag sinabi natin multiples, ibig sabihin, yun yung result when we multiply this number to a certain number. So for example, 3 times 1 that give us 3, 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 3, 9. So multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, so on and so forth. What about the factors of 6? Ano yung factors ng 6? Diba na-introduce tayo dyan? We have the factor 3, and then yung may ladder, diba? Hindi nga pahingin ng factors sa ating chat box. Ayan, tama. Very good. Diba? Kinumpleto pa. Sige, ayan. So factors ng 6, 1, 2, 3, and 6. Bakit? We have 1 times 6 that will give us 6, and 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So they are called factor pairs. And then the set of states of matter, we have solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. And the set of vowels in the English alphabet, ayan, alam niyo yan. We have A, E, I, O, U. Diba? Kapag alahan natin yan ng elementary. Alright, so those are well-defined sets. Bakit sila well-defined? So for example, dito sa set of vowels, well-defined to kasi alam natin na yung consonant, hindi siya vowel. And hindi siya part ng set na to. Alright? Sa even numbers, alam natin na kapag odd, hindi siya part ng set na yan. So those are well-defined sets. Another thing pala, as you may see in the screen, when we name or label our sets, we use capital letters. So we have A, B, C, M, and D, any capital letter. And then the elements here are enclosed by braces. All right, we have 2 braces here. They are enclosed. And then each element are separated by a comma. All right, so ganyan tayo mag-write ng sets. And then we use these 3 dots, which are called ellipses, kapag infinite or masyadong marami yung elements natin na hindi na natin sila need isulat and it is already understood. All right? Sige. So what about the set of famous writers? Is this well defined? the set of famous writers? Sige nga. Is this well-defined? Yes or no in the chat box? Some may sabi yes, some sabi no. Sige nga. What about the others? This is not well-defined. That's correct. So majority answer it is not well-defined. That's correct. Bakit? Because when we say famous, it is subjective. Probably, yung iba sa inyo, kilala yung writer na to, but then hindi ko siya kilala. So is it really famous or not? So hindi natin ma-distinguish kung ano nga ba talaga yung exactly na element niya. Alright, next one. What about the set of delicious food? Yes, that's correct, Nina. This is also not well-defined. Kasi pwedeng hindi ko gusto yung isang food and then gusto ng isa. Diba? So it's still subjective. And lastly, the set of good leaders. Is this well-defined? The set of good leaders. Yes, that's correct, Michaela. It's also not well-defined. Bakit? Again, it is subjective. Diba? Hindi natin ma-distinguish, maybe para sa'yo, magaling siyang leader. Pero para sa ibang tao, hindi. Diba? We have different opinions. And in these cases, hindi siya well-defined because of that. Alright? So I hope clear sa inyo what is well-defined and what is not well-defined. Sige, before we proceed, any questions? Going once, going twice. All right, no questions. Sige. The next one, when we say universal set, so these are the important terms that we need to remember in dealing with sets. Number one, universal set. The universal set, which is denoted by U, is the set that contains all elements under consideration. So for example, the set even numbers. So ibig sabihin, ang universal set, 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on and so forth. Lahat yon, they are the universal set. Or kapag naman nagkukumpara tayo ng two sets, for example, set A and set B, ang universal set ay lahat ng elements sa set A and set B. Alright? Or minsan naman, or usually, given siya. So, for example, minsan binibigay, given universal set is equal to ganito, ganyan, so given na siya. Hindi natin siya kailangan i-identify. But again, ang universal set contains all elements under consideration. Next term, we have the null set or the empty set. So pag sinabi natin empty or null, from the word itself, empty, ibig sabihin, walang element yung isang set. Alright, walang element yung isang set, and it is denoted by this symbol. 1 minute. Oops. Ayan. So it's denoted by this symbol or this. So bakit ganito? Di ba when we write sets, it is enclosed by braces. So pwedeng ganun pa rin. Wala nga lang siyang laman dahil empty set siya. Alright, so null set or empty set. Walang laman yung set. Alright, this is clear? Clear. Alright, thank you. The next one are the subsets. So pag sinabi natin subsets, the definition is that given any two sets A and B, if every element in A is also an element in B, then A is a subset of then A is a subset of B. Sorry. So we use the symbol subset to siya. So parang C and then my line to denote subsets. For example, A is a subset of B. So para mabilisan siya maalala, pwedeng isipin natin the less than or equal or greater than or equal. Pero curve siya, hindi siya yung sharp. Alright? Wala lang, just a clue. So again, pag sinabi natin subsets, yung element ni A, lahat ng element ni A dapat nasa set B. Alright? Lahat ng element ni A ay naka-set B para makonsider na subset. Kung may isang element kay A na wala kay B, then it's not subset. Alright? So here are some examples. Ayan. So ano ba yung subset ni 1, 4, and 9? Alright. Subset ni 1, 4, and 9. Sige nga, sample. Kahit isa lang sa ating chat box. Sample. Ayan, tama. Ayan. Correct. Very good. Sige. Let's reveal now the answers. So una, we have a subset with 3 elements. Bakit? Kasi the set itself, I mean, any set is a subset of itself. Alright? Any set is a subset of itself. So, ibig sabihin, itong set A, which is 1, 4, and 9, is a subset of itself. Diba? 1, 4, 9, 1, 4, 9. Alright? So, yan lang yung 3 elements. Proceed tayo kay 2 elements. Meron tayong 1 and 4. Alright? Sundan niyo ako 1 and 4. Ano yung kasunod? Sige nga, example. We have 1 and 9. And then 4 and 9. Meron pa ba? No more. Sige, proceed tayo kay 1 element. So kay 1 element, sila lang, tagi-tag-isa. List down lang natin isa-isa. So we have 1, we have 4, and we have 9. And lastly, we have the null set or the 0 element. Alright, so take note of that. So yung una natin, a set is a subset of itself. Any set is a subset of itself. And also, yung null set is a subset of all set. Alright? Huwag kakalimutan yon. Alright, is subset clear now? Ayan, minsan nakakalimutan natin na yung null set is a subset of a set. So, minsan, mag-a-ask tayo sa exam, ilan nga ba yung subset ng isang set? So, baka makalimutan natin si null set and that would make us wrong. So, kasi nag-1 tayo. So, dapat complete. Alright, sige, proceed tayo with the next one. So given this set A, 2, 3, 5, 7, which of the following is a subset of A? Alright, sige, sabayan niyo ako. Let's start with set E, 2, 7. If you think this is a subset of A, just shot S. Yeah, S. And then if not naman, N. Alright, kapag subset S, kapag not N. 2 and 7. Si 2 and 7 ba? Lahat ba? Pareho silang dalawa ay naka A? Yes, that's correct. That's correct, Gerald. So this is a subset of A. Next one, 2, 7, and 8. 2, 7, and 8. Correct. Very good, Camille. This is not a subset. Bakit? Because 8 is not part of A. Very good. Next one. Set R. Isa lang yung element niya, 3. Is this a subset of A or not? This is a subset of A. Last, 2, 3, 5, and 7. This is familiar. And that is a subset of A. Dahil they are equivalent sets. Equal sets, rather. The next one, proceed tayo with the cardinality of sets. But before that, any questions with universal set, null set, and then subsets? Any questions? Ayan. Sige. So there being none, let's proceed with the cardinality of sets. So ano nga ba pag sinabi natin cardinality? Di ba we remember in our previous mathematic topics that when we say cardinal, nagbibilang. Di ba? 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Di ba? I hope you remember that. So it's almost the same with this. Actually, it's the same nga eh. Cardinality of a set. So, basahin natin yung definition. The cardinality of a given set A is the number of elements in that set denoted by n of A or absolute value of A. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, kung ilan yung number of elements in that set, bibilangin lang natin. That's the cardinality of a set. So, tandaan niyo yung clue word natin, cardinal. Diba? Pag cardinal, bibilang tayo. So, pag hinahanap natin yung cardinality ng isang set, bibilangin lang natin yung elements nila. So, for example, given this set B, we have 2, 5, 8, 11, 14. we say that the cardinality of P is 5. Bakit? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Gets? Next one, given the set C of counting numbers not greater than 8, again, counting numbers not greater than 8, the cardinality of C is 8. Bakit? Ano yung counting numbers natin? Di ba? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then we have a condition here na sinasabi, not greater than 8. So ano yung not greater than 8? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 is not greater than 8, alright? So may iba siya pag sinabing less than 8. Kasi 8 is not less than 8 na. Alright? So bilang pa rin sa 8. So ibig sabihin 1 to 8, we have 8 elements. Alright, sige, let's try. So what is the cardinality of the set P of prime numbers between 1 and 7? Anyone in the chat box? The set P of prime numbers between 1 and 7. Ayan, na-introduce na sa inyo yung prime numbers, di ba? When we say prime numbers, these are numbers that the only factor is 1 and itself. And hindi kasama si 1 doon. So, ilan? Yes, that's correct, Nina. Again, very good. We have 3. Bakit 3? Because yung prime numbers natin between 1 and 7 is 2, 3, and 5. Sir, paano si 7? Hindi kasama si 7 because ang condition natin is between 1 and 7. Ibig sabihin, kapag between, yung nasa gitna lang or nasa loob ni 1 and 7, hindi kasama si 1, hindi kasama si 7. Alright? Ayan, nakakasunod na yung iba. Very good. Next one. What is the cardinality of the set Z of positive even integers less than 16? Again, positive, hindi kasama si negative, even integers less than 16. Chat box. Ayan, Andrea is correct. We have 7. Bakit 7? Alright, because even integers, as mentioned kanina, they are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Kasunod yan is 16 na, but then 16 is not less than 16. So hindi na siya kasama. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 elements, hence the cardinality of Z is 7. Alright, sige. Any questions before we proceed? 1 minute. Any questions? Or gets naman? If gets, can I have a heart reaction dito sa ating Zoom? Ayan, so majority. Alright, thank you so much for your response. Next one. So we are down to our last subtopic. So the union and intersection of sets. When we say union of sets, ibig sabihin, the union of sets A and B denoted by A union of B. So tandaan nyo yung symbol natin, parang U lang siya. U. A union of B. So union, U, is the set of elements that are members of A or members of B or members of both A and B. Alright, medyo mahirap pa siya intindihan because ulit-ulit tayo, members of A or members of B or members of both A and B. But in simplest term, ibig sabihin lang yan, if meron tayong dalawang sets, kung ano yung elements nila, yun yung union nila. Alright? For example, so if we have A is equal to 1, 2, 3, and B is equal to 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, then the union of A and B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bakit? Saan ang galing yung 1, 2, 3? Meron tayo kay A, and meron ding 1 and 2 kay B. And then yung 4, 5, 6 nang galing kay B. Alright? So parang pinagsama lang natin lahat ng elements nila. As you may see, si 3 hindi siya existing kay B. Pero since na kay A siya, isasama pa rin natin. Alright? So kapag union, pagsasamahin lang natin, hindi kailangang both na sa kanila, hindi kailangan common. But then, pwedeng na kay A lang, pwedeng na kay B lang, or pwedeng both. Alright, next example. Paano kung yung set A natin is 4 and 9 and set B is 3, 7, 8, and 9? What is their union? Sige nga, anyone? Sa chat box natin. Alright, sige. I'll give you 1 minute to write since medyo mahirap siya sulatin. Alright. Meron na nakapag-answer na dalawa. Yes, and that's correct, Dom. Tama yan. So, the union of A and C is 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9. Saan siya nanggaling? We have 3 here. We have 4 here. We have 7, 8, and 9 on both. So, pwede natin siya isulat na 4 and 9 unahin natin because yun yung A. And then, sulat na lang natin si C. Alright? Pero, pwede rin naman ganito na chronologically arrange siya, which is a better way of writing a set. Alright? Ayan. Tama yung iba. I mean, mostly got it correctly. Nagkaiba lang sa order. Alright? Next one, sige. Let's follow the same order with this next one. So if x is 0 and y is 3, 6, 9, 12, what is their union? To some students, kapag yung element is 0, minsan akala nila it is null. Alright? Pero 0 is an element. So ibig sabihin, kapag 0 siya, hindi siya totally null. Kasi part siya ng set, element siya ng set. Alright? Huwag tayo magkakamali doon. Kapag null, iba siya kay 0. Alright? Kapag 0, part siya ng set, pero kapag null, as in, walang laman ng set. Alright? Ayan, meron na nakapagsagot sa ating chat box. And the correct answer is 0, 3, 6, 9, 12. Bakit? We have 0 kay x. And then the 3, 6, 9, 12 nanggaling kay y. And that's all. Alright, gets na ba? Any questions? Oops. I'm sorry. May question ba about union of sets? None so far. Di ba? Madali pa lang yung una nating lesson. Ayan, nag-enjoy pa ba tayo dyan? Pahingin na mo heart react or yung parang party reaction if nag-enjoy pa. Ayan, thank you. Sige. Last one, intersection of sets. When we say intersection, so the intersection of sets A and B denoted by A, and this one parang baliktad na U, B is the set of all elements common to both A and B. So kung dun kay union, pinagsama lang natin, hindi kailangan common, basta existing siya in both, basta existing siya in either sets, kay intersection, kailangan common siya to both sets. So, ang pwede nating alalahanin dito, kapag union or, di ba, pag union or, pero pag intersection, and. Bakit and? Kasi kailangan it should be on A and B. So, ibig sabihin, existing siya kay A, existing din siya kay B. Hindi natin isasama kapag kay A lang or kay B lang. Sige, for a better visualization, here's an example. So, if A is 1, 2, 3, same lang siya dun sa before, and then B is 1, 2, 4, 6, ang union natin is 1 and 2. Bakit? Because 1 and 2 ay common sa kanilang dalawa. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yung 3, wala siya kay B. Yung 4, 5, and 6, wala siya kay A. So, 1, 2 lang tayo. Gets? Yeah. So, let's have this one sa chat box ulit. If A is 4 and 9, and C is 3, 7, 8, and 9, what is A union? A intersection C. Ayan, ang bilis ni Mark. Very good. So the union, the intersection of A and C is 9. Tama, kasi sila lang yung existing on both sets, di ba? Yung 4, wala naman to. So another tip na matuturo ko sa inyo, pag naghahanap tayo ng intersection, mag-base tayo dun sa mas konti. Bakit? Kasi pag nag-base tayo dun sa mas konti, titignan lang natin kung lahat ng elements niya or yung each of the element ay existing dun sa isang set. Diba? So dito, 4 and 9, dalawa lang yan. Dito, 4. So sa 4 and 9, pwede mo tignan. Hanapin mo lang si 4. Is 4 an element of C? Hindi. Is 9 an element of C? Yes. So 9 is our intersection. Last one. If set X is equal to 7 and 12, and set Y is 8, 9, 10, and 11, what is the intersection of X and Y? What is the intersection of X and Y? Zero. Remember yung note ko kanina? Ayan. Kapag wala silang intersection, it's a null set. Kasi walang laman. Diba? So, iba yung zero kay null set, ha? Ayan, natandaan natin yan. Kapag zero, it's an element. Pero kapag null set, walang element kahit ano, kahit isa. Sige, so mag-base tayo sa cardinality. Kapag null set, ang cardinality niya is 0. Pero kapag yung isang set may element na 0, ang cardinality niya is 1. Alright? Yeah, I hope it is clear now. So that's the last part of our lesson. Any questions before we end? Ayan, may question here from Danica. Kapag common sa kanila, isusulat natin pareho. No need na, isa na lang siya. So kagaya dito, di ba, 9 is common, hindi natin siya isusulat ng 9 and 9. 9 na lang. So isa lang siya. Isang beses lang natin isusulat. You're welcome. Any more questions? Going once? Going twice? Okay, no more questions. So in our next synchronous discussion, siguro will allot 15 to 20 minutes to practice on some examples. Since ayun nga, konting examples muna para lang ma-ready lang tayo. Kasi hindi dapat natin bibiglain. Since this is our first lesson, konti-konti muna tayo. Chill lang muna and then we'll make use of more examples as we go over our lesson. So yeah, that's the introduction to sets. But before we end, I have an assignment for you since ayun nga, this is our first lesson and first meeting, not actually second meeting na, but yeah, we have already introduced ourselves, but I want you guys to get to know each other. So that's your assignment. Kilalanin nyo lang yung isa't isa. So, but syempre, with a twist, let's make use of what we have learned here. So applying what you have learned about sets in a group of 7, so you are 42 here. So ibig sabihin, we'll have 6 groups with 7 members. So 6 times 7 is 42. Your task is to create categories or sets highlighting the similar characteristics of each member. Alright, so magkwentuhan lang kayo, tanongin nyo, ano yung favorite food nyo, or what's your age, saan ka, di ba? Stuff like that. So for example, magkakategorize tayo or maggagawa tayo ng set. One example is a set of students who have the same age. So for example, ayun, kapareho kayo ng age, nasa isang set kayo. Or you live in the same city, di ba? Yan, anything, kahit anong category, I will accept that, di ba? Para magkakilala kayo. This is a good way for you to get to know each other. So a set does not necessarily have to contain all numbers. Pwedeng dalawa lang, pwedeng isa lang. Pero huwag na tayo magsama ng null set, ha? Ayan. It does not necessarily have to contain all numbers. So pwedeng sa isang group, pwedeng iba-iba kayo ng categories, iba-iba kayo ng sets. Also, you are free to create any number. Excuse me, any number of categories as you see fit. So pwedeng sa isang group meron 5 categories, pwedeng ito, same age, same city, ano pa ba? Same region, ano pa? same school noong elementary, kayo bahala. And then prepare a PowerPoint presentation to share your output in the next synchronous session. All right? So remember ha, these activities aim to help you get to know each other in the class. All right? Yun yung goal natin, magkakilala kayo. But then, with the twist, yung application natin ng sets. All right? Sige, any questions before we end? Kailangan po ba ng pictures? Not necessarily, pwede namang names na lang, pero nakadepende sa inyo. Mas maganda kung may pictures, of course. You're welcome. Yan, may question pa ba? Ilang categories? Kahit ilan. Kahit ilan. Ito siya, diba? You are free to create any number of categories as you see. Gusto nyo, bonggahan nyo, ramihan nyo, 10. Kung ilan nyo kaya. Basta ang goal natin is magkaroon tayo ng categories na ma-highlight yung similar characteristics ng bawat member ng isang group. Ayan. May question pa ba? No more? Right, so that ends our lesson today. So to end, George Cantor once said, a set is a menu that allows itself to be thought of as one. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you have learned a lot from our lesson about introduction to sets. So again, please be reminded of our assignment. We will present it in our next synchronous session next week. So yung next session natin is asynchronous. And then, yeah, please go over our course plan para malaman nyo kung anong susunod na lesson. But then before that, we will practice on some examples about sets. So probably 10 to 15 minutes will be. Ayan, so there. Are there any more questions? Wala na. Sige. So, since wala ng questions, once again, thank you so much. And I hope you have a nice day. And see you in our next synchronous session. Thank you so much, grade 7. Goodbye.